Bring you the controversy surrounding the brave new world of tracking your kids via GPS and tracking them wherever they go. From school to the playground to even inside your own home, parents, they can now keep track of their kids' every move. Boosters of this new technology, they call it a parent's dream come true. Opponents say it's a civil rights nightmare. Now we're going to bring you the debate, and then we want to hear from you at home, especially you parents out there. What do you think? Is putting a tracking device on your kid common sense parenting in the 21st century, or is it just plain creepy? Here's our toll-free number, 888-766-2428. In addition to your phone calls, we want to hear from you online. Send us those emails to rnntv.com. Now the phone lines, they are open, and we will start getting your reaction in just a couple minutes. But first, they are not easy times to be a parent. Now you worry about what happens every time your child, whether they're 5 or 15, leaves the house. And the high-profile cases of child abduction over the last few years, they certainly haven't helped to soothe the frazzled nerves of jittery parents. According to the Center for Missing and Exploiting Children, over 2,000 kids are reported missing every day in America. Now that adds up to nearly 800,000 children every year who are either abducted, get lost, or run away. Of those who are abducted, only a small fraction are snatched by strangers. The vast majority, abducted by family members. In Utah this week, after a 3-day search, this man, Nathan Sloop, he was accused of abducting and murdering his 4-year-old stepson. These are horrifying cases that are just one reason why today's parents are afraid to let their kids out of their sight. In Tennessee, the parents of a teenager, Danny Brown, has spent a frantic week and a half searching for their son, who was swept away in this month's flash floods. And what about the threat of an attack at your kid's school? Yesterday, Comac High School on Long Island, it was evacuated after a bomb threat was found on a note in the hallway. Now, police suspect the note a prank, but the evacuation, it set off frantic phone calls by parents desperate to know where their teens were and if they were all right. There are also the heartbreaking stories of runaways. An underage girl who ran away from home at the center of rape charges against NFL Hall of Famer Lawrence Taylor, who was found with the underage girl at the now infamous Holiday Inn, room 160. And then there are the stories of drug abuse. Another Long Island town was rocked in 2008 by the heroin overdose of teenager Natalie Ciappa. As teen drug use, and especially heroin use, is on the rise, parents are struggling for ways to better monitor the activities of their teenage children. In this brave new world of parenting, new technologies has evolved that has let parents track their kids the same way they get directions in the car, with GPS. Now supporters, they call it the next generation of good parenting. Opponents, they call it a gross invasion of privacy. Our Regina Orsanya, she got both sides of this debate as well as the parents' perspective, and she joins us now with more. Regina?
Well, that's right, Rich. From the time a child is born, parents embark on an endless pursuit to ensure their safety. And new technologies have given parents what could be the most important thing they need when it comes to their children: peace of mind. Electronic monitoring is an $11 billion a year industry that is rapidly growing. And experts say the biggest buyers these days are parents.
We're seeing an increased demand in these products as children get more tools to be more private, like text messaging and email and chat. Parents are looking for something to give them more insight into that.
Todd Morris is the CEO of one of the companies leading the way in child monitoring, New York's Brickhouse Security. Brickhouse develops products that monitor children from a young age all the way till they go off to college.
You can place this into a backpack, you can put it into a car, you can give it to a child to wear on their belt, and it's got a panic button. And it allows you to be able to check and see where they are.
Through satellite technology, this small GPS device helps parents keep track of their children when they leave the house. Parents can set a distance or a speed, and when the child goes outside that distance or drives over that speed, they'll be sent an alert. But it's not only a child's time out of the house that parents want to know more about. Martin says they're also using devices like this stuffed animal nanny cam to see what's going on inside their living room.
They're not just for watching the nanny. Sometimes parents get them to find out what time their kids are getting home from school. Are they coming home alone? Are they sitting on the couch doing homework? Or are they playing Xbox the whole time or drinking beer on the couch with their friends?
And it doesn't stop there. There's also SIM cards for cell phones that can tell a parent who their child is calling and texting and what those texts say, even if they're deleted 2 seconds later. And devices that can monitor social networking sites like Facebook and MySpace and keep track of what's being typed on those accounts.
I think it's a good thing. I have 4 children. My oldest is 16, and sometimes she says she's somewhere, and I'm not too sure.
Something good, because you can keep track on your kids. You know where they are, and if something happens or if they sort of get lost, you know where to go.
Parents have the right to see what their kids are doing and where they're doing it. As long as a child is under 18 and they're not trusted to go out and drink, they can't even go to war. I think it's a parent's responsibility to watch a child.
But some argue that watching a child through GPS is not responsible parenting at all.
You have to let your children grow up, and you have to keep a close eye on them. You should know what they're doing, where they are, and who they are with. But that's your responsibility. So you should be actively involved in parenting, but not leaving it to technology and then saying, well, that will do my job.
There's also the risk that tracking could ruin the trust between a child and parent and could give a child the impression that he or she is never too safe.
If you impart this fear that every time you leave your house, you are probably going to be kidnapped or raped or attacked, and therefore we need to know where you are.
Lenore Skenazy is the author of Free Range Kids and is playfully referred to by her critics as America's worst mom because she let her 9-year-old son ride the subway home alone in 2008. The reason, he wanted more independence, and she wanted him to grow up without the fear of stranger danger.
The safest children are the ones who fight back or take charge of a situation if they're ever threatened, and those children are the confident children. And the way you get confidence is by being out there on your own some of the time, knowing that your mother trusts you to get home safe.
A chance that Martin says most parents he deals with are not willing to take. For them, they'd rather track their kids and be safe than sorry.
We'd like to think that you can always ask, are you having a problem? Is there something I can help you with? Is someone bullying you online? Have you tried drugs yet? Are you sexually active? What are the chances a 15-year-old's going to be honest about that? Would you have been? Probably not. So in cases like that, parents want the same level of insight that their parents had over them.
Now, peace of mind comes at a high cost to a parent. Not only do you risk possibility of ruining the relationship with your child if you monitor them, but the devices themselves can run anywhere from $99 to $500, Rich.
Thank you very much, Regina. Now, we are going to get your reaction in just a couple minutes, but first, I want to recap the arguments on both sides. As you just heard, opponents say being tracked 24/7 not only violates a juvenile's right to privacy, some would argue, but it also destroys that bond of trust between parent and child. Some also might worry that keeping kids too short of a leash, it'll cause them to rebel later, while others warn that it's just one more step down a slippery slope towards a big brother society. But supporters of this new technology, they say, in a world of high-profile child abductions, natural disasters, and school threats, it gives parents badly needed peace of mind in knowing where their kids are at all times. As for privacy, till the kid turns 18, their privacy rights, they're subject to parental whims. All right, now you've heard the arguments on both sides, but I want to know where you at home stand. Is putting a tracking device on your kids creepy, or does it just make common sense? 888-766-2428. Again, our toll-free number, 38766-2428. Join us on the phone lines and online as well at rnntv.com. Calls and emails, they're all straight ahead.